pretty meditated. I might get more meditated. I was gonna turn my oven up a little bit, oops, for my tots, because I have it on 420. So let me make me some tea. You know, I decided to use this blue coffee maker for my sorrel to make that tea. In fact, I should make some right now. So I can just use this. I mean, it's glass. It's perfect. And I was using a wide mouth beaker. What is this if it's not? In fact, it's got a wide base. That's exactly what I need. So I'm just gonna dump some sorrel in here, and then I can just, when I'm ready to either put it in a container or drink it, I can put the screening agent, whether it's cheesecloth or an actual teacup strainer, and enjoy my sorrel. And I could just dump some in there, really. Oh, gotta put the water, put the water in the coffee maker first. I'm just gonna smash these patties that I made flatter, so that when they cook down, they'll take up more of the bread. And this is parchment paper, so I could just actually pull these out and slap them onto this pan, and I don't have to touch anything. And move them where I want to be with said parchment paper. Put that parchment paper back in the bag that I had them stored in. Well, actually, I'm gonna rinse this raw meat juice bag out, and then I'm gonna put the parchment paper that I had separating the patties in here, and then roll that up like so. Get all the air out. And then seal it and throw it away. I'm washing my hands really good just in case I got any meat juice. Red onions. I hate that I'm always squinting now, even when I'm not looking at text, like squinting to see just regular shit. Ugh, aging is a drag. Yeah, I think it's bullshit. But you can only do the best that you can do, right? Oh, but you know what is mesquite? A little of the cheese from last night. The cheese that was too salty. I want toast. He's just gonna have half of one with toast, cause too bad, so sad. I do want a ton of cheese on both. So we'll pile that up right now. I'm talking about a big mound. And the way I do it so I don't get cheese everywhere is I pile up a big mound of cheese right in the middle. And then I spread it around. I don't want to use buns tonight because I'm making some burgers big enough to fill the bread, and the buns aren't big enough. Because I didn't buy the big burgers. I bought the little cheap grocer slider size. Well, they're supposed to be regular burgers, but they're slider size. A lot of cheese, a little bit of onion, and the cheese. Let me just sprinkle it on there a little bit. He won't even notice. And then I'll cut all that in half in a minute. My bread is toasted. Because I'm a G. I'm a G. He got to catch up with me. He got mayonnaise. I got mustard. Because I feel like, why not use a condiment with a lot, it has a lot of flavor and very few calories? Why wouldn't you do that? I need to put green onions too, but do I? Because maybe I don't. You cut this in half. You see the smoke? Mm-hmm. 7 seconds would have been good. Remember that for me next time. 7 seconds is the magic number for leftover garlic bread. When I ask you, and I will, you better know it. Here's one more roll. I never did show you guys these. They were so good. We fucked them up. Put this back for now. It's a collard green wrap. So, you know, by the time it's done cooking, oven's hot on my booty. This combination right here, though, it's like a meatloaf egg roll with a collard green wrap. Or when it's laying in a pan, like a meatloaf enchilada with a collard green wrap. We fucked them up too. I felt a little bad because I didn't want to over salt them, right? So I didn't put any salt. But I was so self-conscious about not having put the salt in with my other seasoning and flavors that after I put the cheese on, I salted them again, like on top of the cheese. So I was apologizing profusely for making them too salty because I went out of my way to not make them too salty. But all it was the cheese on top that already had sodium or had salted on top. So all you really had to do was scrape the cheese off, which is why it looks especially green. It actually looks delicious with the melted cheese on top, but we scraped the cheese off to make them taste perfect. This was the cheese. Yeah, it was salty. Ooh. And hit the plastic wrap. So I'm good. Did I bring you ketchup? So I had half a toasted cheeseburger and leftover collard wrap. And it tasted beautiful together. Now I'm going to give him these tops. I don't want none. I better eat the one that better not put the one I put my mouth on back in the plate, right? Then I'm gonna come down and put some cookies. I'll make some cookies. I bet it is. Drink more water. At least get a small bottle and fill it up. Crack this window. So y'all watching the Country Music Awards this year? All the shade, yes, all the shade. I think I'm gonna continue to save the cheese. and use it instead of salt in something. I know it sounds crazy, but y'all gonna thank me later. Y'all gonna thank me for these little tidbits later. Maximum minimalism. Doing the most with the least. Not being wasteful. I put it in the fridge. I don't know if I should put it in the freezer. I don't foresee myself needing it sooner than that, but who knows? If I don't use it the next couple of days, I'll put it in the freezer for storage. Don't take for granted that you know what your stuff in your freezer is, even though nothing in my freezer is labeled like I'm about to label this. Y'all know I'm healthily paranoid, but paranoid all the same. I'm not paranoid because I use cannabis. I'm paranoid because I live in America. But I do been using cannabis. Okay, that was quick. I'm not hot no more. So when I put this in the fridge, I don't waste a Ziploc bag. I just use an open sandwich bag and stick the rest of the cookie tube, twist it up, get all the air out, twist it up, fold it down, and then put a rubber band on it. A rubber band that I don't care about because going in and out of the freezer a couple of times, it's gonna wear and it's only gonna last for the length of time that you use to store the cookies. Just have some rubber bands that you don't care, that you don't give a fuck about. I promise y'all, if I get super rich, which will probably never happen in this short life that we have left in America under the orange regime, but if I ever get rich, I'm gonna always have these little practical hints and tidbits for y'all because I'm not gonna never lose sight of this stuff right here. It ain't gonna happen. Number two and number one of my purposes here is to speak to us in the human flesh, is to speak messages to us that are here in the human flesh, fighting this fight for good. I'm here to convey ancestral messages and convey ancestral wisdom. Don't ask me to explain it any more than that. That's all I know. Goddess is real, and she be speaking through me. And there are even times where she be speaking to me with y'all. To me with y'all. To me as well as y'all. Every time you touch a surface, bacteria is left behind. Now consider how many times your family touches the surfaces in your home in 24 hours. Try Microban 24. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria. I'm sitting here just thinking, you want me to tell them something else? I was like, I'm not feeling deep right now. And she was like, okay, you could tell them later. It wasn't like actual words from an actual person, because she don't even speak English. We made that shit up. I don't even know what she be speaking, but she be speaking to me, and my elevated self translates it. And then that translation is translated by my intellectual self, and then that self, has support from my academic self, and my psychological self takes all that information, and then my common sense self dissects it all and then reassembles it, and then it just comes out to y'all, often to us all. I am not a prophet. I don't even want to be one. All it really is extreme common sense. People just interpret a deep insight like a deep wisdom. They interpret it as a deep wisdom because common sense is so uncommon. But really, every last one of you have the capacity. I don't know about colonizers' life and culture and ancestral history, but I know if you are black, if you're a person of color, and I'm referencing from my perspective, black people, but I presume this to be true for all BIPOC, that this same goddess I'm talking about is in you, relative to whatever your gender is. So sometimes it is God for those who have male energies. And those who have male energies aren't always males. But that's going to that's going too outside of the human mind for me to get into right now. Fuck. I'm so high apparently. It's okay. I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. I told y'all, cannabis super high, being super high on cannabis is nothing like what they told you. They lied to us for our whole ass generations. They didn't want us to have access to not even knowledge. I can kind of understand, I guess, if you don't want nobody to know more than you. You want to be the smartest motherfucker in the class. Too bad you gotta take the grimy way out, because that only proves that you the dumbest hoe there. But anyway, even if you get that, like, then what? Why are races so horrible? They suck. Since we was talking at the time, I almost directed that question directly toward Goddess, but then my wisdom kicked in and I was like, if she wants you to know the answer to that, she'll tell you. She'll tell you in her way and in the perfect way, and you'll understand that's what it is, even though you won't be able to put your finger on that being what it is. Because she and I have that understanding as we are the same entity. Child, get you some cannabis. You'll understand. You'll understand what I'm saying. That was my second time opening it up, and I hope they don't go flat. Because I only made just enough. I've been doing that too a lot lately in the name of being wasteful. Like if I make something, I'll make just a little less than what we need so that we won't have no leftovers. Now, if you talk a lot of shit about eating leftovers and you know damn well that y'all don't eat leftovers like you should, and you end up wasting a lot of food that could feed a lot of people. I don't care how much trash the food is, everybody. That's one thing I don't do. I encourage you to eat healthy, and I have suggestions for you eating healthy. But if you don't eat healthy, guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to chastise you. Unless we have specifically said we sticking to a plan. And even then, baby, I'm a sugar carb addict myself. They got me from birth. I gotta relate to that. I'm gonna come hard at you because I'm a accountability type bitch, and I would want somebody to hold me accountable if that's what I implored them to do. Keep it real with me. Don't dress shit up. If you really love me, then, and this is something that needs to change, be assertive, not aggressive. Be assertive. I'm talking about assertive. Like, don't even do like I be doing. Like, I'll tell somebody something once, and they'll be like, no, 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 no. And I'll be like, okay. They'd be like, no, 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 that's not how I do it. Okay. And they'd be like, cause such and such, they want to add stuff to it, cause when such and such and such. So, I'm okay with it. I don't care. It's just that when that different way of thinking crosses over into moral character, and it don't align with what I want for the people that I embrace in my life, then I'm cutting your ass off. I'm not mad. Why I'm mad? Cause you showed your ass, so I know to stay the fuck away from you. I'm not mad. The only way you can be mad is if you fucking gave them the benefit of the doubt when they didn't deserve it. your empath ass. You know who you are. You overly compassionate, which is a beautiful thing, and that's why I love you. That's really why I love you. But as I said, over compassionate. It end up ass out, you know, victimized at the hands of some sociopath that you thought you expected better from. And for what? Because they didn't show you no better. I'm just fussing at y'all, but I love that you're so loving. The world wouldn't be right without it. But fuck that shit. I'm not finna be victimized by these hoes, and I see that they hoes before they even start doing some hoe shit. Why don't I put myself through that? And then here you come, a month later. You know what they did? They did this. Yeah, I know what they did because I knew what they was capable of doing. That's why I didn't fuck with them. And you did because you thought they were so sincere. And you can sit up there and tell me because I love you and you don't want to look a certain way. You can tell me that you didn't see that in the beginning. But it was there. Because if it wasn't there, I would be fucking with them still. Because you know I only eliminate motherfuckers that done showed me something I need to be cautious about. But the thing about me is my friends are so compassionate and such empaths. And I don't want because my critical analysis is critical indeed. And I don't want them to approach people with that sort of criticism. Because it's meant for them to cross paths with those people. So that if nothing else, they add a light unto their lives, unto the people's lives. They're here to serve in that way. Just like I'm here to serve in a way where I don't interfere with them. Oh, here comes Mister. So I did the same with these. I got him 3 because that's the most I want him to have before bed. And I got 1 because that's the most I want to have before I go to bed. Because we shouldn't be having any, but like I said, I'm not policing the way y'all eat because I know I'm a sleeper. But I be exercising every day, child. Every day these days. And yoga too. I be getting down. So I'm finna eat this cookie. And let him eat his. He ain't gonna eat the 2 of them. But, you know, I want him to have enough. He's dealing with stuff. Love y'all. Good night.